This is a demo to show the use of presets in follow-up studies. First I order the studies in date reverse form, and I start to bring in the first study. Here I'll fast forward. Okay, here's the study. I'll stop the MIP and I'll move over to the side and start reading the second study. The second study is up. Again, I'll stop it, and I'll ask to read the third study. Okay, all studies are up, and now I want to arrange them. This is the oldest one. This is the middle one. And this is the most recent one. I'll position them on the screen where I want the preset to remember their positions. Okay. The next thing to do is go through and start to work on as if I'm comparing the three studies. I use the fuse because I like that one the best. And I choose to fuse the three studies. Likewise, I want to show the use of three views. I'll bring that up in three studies and place it below each window. Pet. Pet. Okay, this is the function of the preset to remember these positions. But let's continue on as if we're going to compare the studies themselves. The first thing I do, I need to define an anchor point. So I'll pick the lower spine, the same point in all three studies. That defines the axial positions for me. I need to define the coronal position, coronal and sagittal, and for that I'll pick a given anchor point, the same anchor point on each of the three studies. Okay, now I've got my things correlated. I want to save those correlations so they don't get lost. I press on the up-down keys to save everything. Now let's pretend I want to do an analysis of the study. I choose to click on the kidney, and up comes the kidney in all three studies. Here it is, 1, 2, 3, the latest one. And not only can I use the MIP, I can use the image itself. Suppose I want to look at the opposite kidney, and I click on that. And it looks reasonable. Okay, so I'm now happy with those positions, and I want to save them as a preset. So I go into Edit, Follow-Up Studies, and position I have nothing yet because I'm starting off with a fresh case. Now I want to save it. I have to give it a name, something which makes sense to me. So I'll call it 3 whole body with 3 view, and save. Okay, now suppose I want to demonstrate the use of this as well. So first I'll clear the studies, again fast forward. Now I want to read a new patient in, but for this case I'll just take the same patient, read in his first study. Here it is, and I'm going to do a second study. In this case, I'm going to do only 2 studies because I can do up to 3. So 2 is less than 3, and I can do that as well. Okay, here it is. I'll stop it. And instead of positioning things manually, I use the preset which I defined previously. Go to Follow-Up Studies, and I'll hit the position button, and then go into the positions. Okay, now let's suppose I want to add a third study. Let me add a third study. I'll check the third one. read. Okay, that's up. The important thing to note here is that I can change my mind in the middle. Stop it. And I'll bring up the 3. First I'll go into the diffuse view. And I'll bring up the 3 view studies. 1, 2, 3. Again, I only have to position them by hand. I can use the preset to do that. And here I obviously have to define new anchor points because this is a new patient, and clearly the different patients have different anchor points. So this is essentially the end of the preset.